In the past 6 decades, the United States and the Soviet Union have not seen eye to eye. The two have engaged in technology and even nuclear arms races over that period of time. But one has to wonder, during World War II, the Soviet Union helped out the United States and the other allies to defeat Nazi Germany. Where did things go wrong? To discover this answer, we will travel through time and examine before, during, and after World War II to find out where relations went south. In 1917, Vladimir Lenin led his Bolshevik army against the Tsar monarchy to overthrow it and eventually establish the Soviet Union, although Lenin picked a bad time to start a revolution. When he overthrew the Tsar monarchy, Russia was actually right in the middle of World War I. In fact, days after he took over the capital city, he actually had to move it to Moscow to accommodate the Germans penetrating the Russian border. In the process, he was forced to sign humiliating treaties with Germany, forcing him to give up hundreds of square miles of land and a quarter of Russia's population in the process. This was humiliating for Lenin, and also established some bad blood between Russia and Germany. However, after 20-some years, things changed. Leaders changed. In fact, at the start of World War II, there were new leaders in both Russia and Germany, in Joseph Stalin and Adolf Hitler. At first, these two really seemed to hit it off. They even established a non-aggression pact that they would split Poland, and then after that, they would just leave each other alone. Although Hitler had different plans. Hitler wanted a Third Reich where he didn't have to share the power with another equally powerful superpower. So Hitler made the costly mistake of double-crossing Stalin, invading Russia and killing millions of Russian soldiers. However, because of Russia's immense population, Stalin was able to regroup and form an Eastern Front that eventually would bring Germany down in the war. So although the Soviet Union had a treaty with Germany, because of Germany's double-cross, the Soviets retaliated out of survival, not out of joining the Allies' cause. The initial plan after World War II was to divide Germany in between the Soviet Union and the Allies. Although after the Soviet Union got their chunk of Germany, they didn't want to let it go. So they built the infamous Berlin Wall, dividing Eastern Germany, the Soviet side, from Western Germany, the Allied side. But the Soviets didn't stop there. They knew that communism plugs into a broken down society and economy perfectly. But the Allies, mainly the United States, saw this initial spread of communism as a threat to its capitalist society. So they enacted the Marshall Plan, which airdropped supplies to Western Europe countries that had been devastated by war, thus preventing a communist takeover of these countries. This set the barrier between Eastern Europe and Western Europe, Soviet and Ally. And obviously, the Soviet Union wasn't exactly thrilled with the United States kind of pushing into their territory. Thus, the beginning of the Cold War. The Cold War would stretch on for 4 decades. And although an official battle was never fought between the two superpowers, there are definitely incidences that caused friction, such as the Cuban Missile Crisis, where a World War III could have easily broken out. Although in the end, the Soviet Union's communistic society crumbled. Its twisted doctrine of suppressing and controlling citizens' lives just couldn't survive in a modern world. So after looking at before, during, and after World War II, why did the Soviet Union turn on the United States and its allies? After fighting for 4 years against such an obvious evil as the Nazi Empire? The answer is simple. History shows that Joseph Stalin would have been fine with sharing Poland with Adolf Hitler. He wasn't looking for a glorious Third Reich in which to spread his Aryan super race. He was simply looking for a communist society. And although the Nazis weren't exactly clean-cut communists, they were close enough for Stalin. But after being double-crossed by Hitler, the Soviets were forced into signing a treaty with the Allies against the Nazis so they themselves wouldn't be exterminated. This truly does shed new light on the saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." Because after we've taken out my enemy, my friend becomes my enemy. It's a tongue twister, but that's just how history works sometimes.